101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and it's 11 minutes past 3 o'clock. It's time for PROSUMER Forum. Yesterday we kicked off the program officially, and today we will continue with the second edition for the week before we continue tomorrow and roll over through till next week. You're welcome to PROSUMER Forum, where we create a forum for both the producers, the consumers, and of course the regulator, as the case may be. Today on PROSUMER Forum, we'll be taking a look at quite a number of issues on ground, things that have happened quite often before your very presence, but you probably didn't know you had the right to manage some of these things, and probably didn't even know you could take it to any authority or take it up with the person in question. Let's also remember that on this program we are going to be interacting with you. It is not just a program for us to talk about or discuss, but we will certainly get open the phone lines for you to contribute your own opinion to the topics and of course on the program. Today I am not alone. We promised you that I will be bringing in people of great substance, people who are considered stakeholders in the whole business of production, consumption, and of course regulating some of the excesses of what we have today going on in our country. From this Consumer Protection Council, I will not do the introduction. I'll allow her do the honors, as a matter of fact, but I'd like to welcome you to the program. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Take your time, don't rush. We still have time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kundus.
It's not Kunduso.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Kundum.
Kundum. It's a pleasure. Good afternoon, Nigerians, great Nigerian people. My name is Mrs. Omagu Mwachukwu, and I work for the Consumer Protection Council in Nigeria.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, by designation, I am the Chief Surveillance and Enforcement Officer in the Council.
By Chief Surveillance Officer, it means anything that has to do with investigation or something?
Yes,
okay.
Basically.
All right. So you're welcome to PROSUMER Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Let's start off by asking, what exactly does the Consumer Protection Council do?
On a general note, the CPC was established by government to promote and protect the rights and interests of consumers. Consumers have 8 basic rights internationally, which right now have been domesticated in Nigeria, at least 5 of them, and so adhere to the rules and regulations set for them by government.
So when you say 8 of those rights, what are those 8 rights?
The 8 rights, the first one is satisfaction to basic needs.
Okay.
You have the right to safety, you have the right to redress, information, choice, representation, healthy environment. Are you counting?
I think that's 7 also.
7. Then finally we have the right to...
I think that's 8.
I wasn't keeping count.
Yeah, but I think it sounds very like it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but very heavy.
Yes, they
yeah.
are.
So simple things like the first one you mentioned is the right to satisfaction.
To basic needs.
That's the first one. Now, the right to basic needs, what does that exactly mean?
Well, I said that like 5 of them are domesticated in Nigeria right now. So I would prefer we focus on those 5.
Okay.
But the right to
Okay,
basic needs are very
the
broad.
8 is actually for the international community.
Yeah.
Now, in Nigeria, when we domesticate, it becomes 5.
Yes.
So there are 5. And the 5 will include basic needs?
The 5 will include safety.
Safety.
Information.
Information.
Choice.
Choice.
Redress.
Redress.
And education.
And
consumer education.
Consumer education. Now, let's take a look at safety. This is a very, very serious problem in Nigeria. Many people, I give you an example. You're driving in traffic. People just see vendors moving around with one thing or the other. Nobody has the least idea about the source of those things that we buy. Is it water? Is it the beverage that you buy? Is it the biscuits or whatever it is? People just consume. I mean, this should fall under the question about whether it is safe for consumption or not.
Yes.
Or are we looking at safety from the point of view of where it is coming from?
We're looking at safety all round. That's why it may not stand alone. Coming from the CPC angle, going by the scenario you just created, the CPC has programs to sensitize Nigerians on how to go about buying products so that eventually they will consume what is safe for them. So if you go by our sensitization programs, that's consumer education, right to consumer education, you may not even patronize those people on the wayside, because when you now have to get redress, you may not be able to access redress, which is another right you have.
Which is number 4. Now, if for instance I take my money, buy something, let's say just a pure water or something, what Nigerians call pure water or sachet water.
Okay.
And I feel that it is not safe for consumption, and I am not satisfied. I see some particles inside. I know definitely that water does not come with particles, and it's not supposed to come with particles.
Okay.
Am I supposed to immediately call CPC and say, "Como, this is what I've seen"? Or am I supposed to hold the vendor that is selling it, call the police? Or what is, how does it work?
In this particular instance, you may send an alert to the council, a kind of SOS. I am here right now, and this is what I am seeing, and this is my location, and this is my location. And then you forward it to, I guess you're going to give
the numbers,
our contacts.
Oh, so the number is not just for calling.
You can send SMS, you can call. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and all that. So you just give us the details. Or else. So these are all the things.
Now, another thing is, just because I saw particles in my pure water, I'll now send an SOS. You mean the CPC will now answer me because of that?
It may not be as automatic as that. Like I told you, the scenario you just created is on the wayside.
Yes.
So that may not be the best of examples. Maybe if you got it in a shop and it's a place you can trace, the CPC may swing into action immediately. In this other case, we may still go over there to see if there are any more of such. But then it's always better, like we advise consumers, buy from a location that can be traced in case you have issues.
And why is that?
You need to hold somebody responsible.
If you buy on the streets, it's possible it's fake and you can never trace that person again.
No way.
It's difficult to trace.
It's very difficult.
Quite interesting. Now, moving on from safety, we also have information. And what exactly do you mean by information?
A consumer has a right to know about everything about the product that he is consuming, whether product or service. If there are rules or guidelines that you should follow before you get the full benefit of a product or service, you ought to declare it, make it known to whoever is paying money for it. You can't get, for instance, a product you buy and the inscription all over it in another language, not English, not Pidgin, not any Nigerian language, maybe in Chinese or anything. In such a scenario, the consumer is denied right to information, and he should report.
Are you serious? Because I've seen a lot of products that are displayed on shelves across
with
board.
Nothing in the local languages.
Nothing. It's either in, I don't even know what language it is, but you see maybe Arabic or you see Chinese. I've seen that. I wasn't told. I know how the writings are, and there's no translation at all. But it looks good. It's well packaged.
You're at your own risk, because you don't know how to use that product. So you are being denied. You don't just take any product. I know how to use a radio, and you just go ahead to start using it. Something may go wrong because the manufacturer always knows how best to use his product to maximize it. So you don't just do that. Let's form a habit of reading labels and all that.
Isn't that a major problem that you've faced over time with some Nigerians that have complained over time? Many of us do not read. I personally would say I'm guilty of that. We don't read the inscriptions on the labels, even if it's in English, even if it's in Hausa or Igbo, whatever language it is. Many Nigerians are known not to have read so many of that. Am I speaking for you, or this is just my observation?
No, it's not. This is a very good forum to, once again, we always do it in our sensitization programs. And so even right now, we appeal to Nigerians to form a habit of, don't just take it that I know how to use electronics, and you buy a new one and you go ahead and start using. If something goes wrong, manufacturer who said you were supposed to do this and do that, and they'll draw your attention to where it is written in their packaging. And then at that point, it's like you bear the liability, kind of, because you didn't take he told you you were given the right to information. But on the other hand, if you were not given right to, you just saw a product, inscription, everything, another language, reports.
You just see, even if it's just, but what if it's in Igbo, for instance?
Well, it can be excused.
Because
it's a Nigerian language.
Yes, because it's a Nigerian language, you can get somebody to interpret for you and all of that. Okay, I think we're making progress in this, because most of these things you're saying, not even I sitting here knows much about it. But about information, obviously Nigerians have a poor attitude to reading information and inscriptions on some of the products, or all. Many people buy TVs, electronics, and they just go ahead and they use it. Something happens, and the next thing, this is bad. In all fairness to some manufacturers, so much has been lost in terms of just simple reading, even if it's a car, Abby.
It's very important.
So the next thing is the choice. What do you mean by choice?
A consumer must not be limited to a few products. He must have a range of varieties of products from which to choose from.
From one manufacturer, or a number of...
No, not really a manufacturer.
It could be a shop owner.
Yes, not really a shop owner. Availability of such products. Of course, you can't come to my company and insist that I sell everything, but out there, I can't force you to pick a particular product.
Okay.
You have the right among the brands of the same product to choose what you want.
I've been to a place where I watch matches, and I insisted I wanted to take, I won't call the name because they've not paid for adverts here, but I insisted on taking a particular drink. The owner of the place says, because this drink is too cheap, he's not going to sell this one to anybody. So the impression was it's killing his business when more people are buying a product that does not sell that much. I'll give you an example. People come to watch matches and they buy bottled water all over. The owner of the place says, I can't sell water to 50 people when I have drinks that go for 350 naira. I don't know if you understand. in that case, is it something worth reporting?
No, that one, just like the consumer has rights, the producer service providers also have their rights. So it's not that kind of right I am talking about, but it's available. Nobody can compel you generally to purchase what you don't want. You purchase what you want.
I see that you're calling us already. We will reel out the phone lines. We'll take a very quick break and come back. We'll take a look at redress and consumer education. Quite an interesting piece of information we're getting here on Prosumer Forum on 101.1 FM, Human Rights Radio. We'll open up the phone lines shortly. We'll take a break and we'll be back.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Like a puzzle, our great nation is made up of many pieces, but only by coming together can the beauty of the picture be seen. Through our religious beliefs, Faith Clinic strives to forge unity through better understanding and tolerance amongst all religious groups in Nigeria, and in turn, showing the beauty in our diversity. Catch Faith Clinic, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Your right, my right, our right. Everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back on to Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. And we've been discussing with a very interesting guest in the studio. We had to drag her in from the Consumer Protection Council and then allow her to introduce herself again. And the reason is simple. I don't want to murder the name, if I'm allowed.
Thank you. Just like I murdered yours. I'm Omagu Nwachuku, Mrs. Omagu Nwachuku, working with the CPC, Consumer Protection Council.
As
the Chief Surveillance and Enforcement Officer.
She's a very big woman. Oh. People should note that we have a very big woman.
Think so.
You are a big woman. Anyway, so we've been talking about safety, information, choice. And now we're going to be taking a look at redress and consumer education. But before then, we'll open up the phone lines so we can interact with the caller on 081 89 99 1011. Go ahead and call us up, ask your questions. I'm sure she will give you answers right away. Hello? You're welcome to the program.
My name is Jonah.
Jonah, you're on to Human Rights Radio, and this is Prosumer Forum.
Yes, thank you. I know that.
Okay.
I want to ask that lady, what are they protecting?
Okay.
Is it the right of the customer? Or the customer are they suffer? Or what to use their money to buy? Like in my area, in my area, we are suffering for meter. We may not have light, but we are paying for meter too. So what are they protecting? We may have light 1-2 times in a month, but the bill will continue coming and we pay. I can remember last year, I called customer CPC, so they said to do their work. I can call them not for you. When I pay for my NEPA bill, and NEPA come to my area, disconnect my light, disconnect other people that I have not paid. So when I not called me, when I reach home, I'm just on my duty to reach home. When I reach home, I let them. I disconnect my light. He said, I paid. I think I paid. Because people show me the way they call it due. And I paid. So I'm in my house, they brought the due for me. That way I paid. So the rest of how they disconnect my life. So when I meet them, they don't ask me, okay, and I said, get the due. I collect home, I bring that to them. And I say, okay, I will pay for connection. For them to reconnect me back. And I think, when will I pay a connection? For somebody that I have paid before any time you take it, connect it. And I now call as customer we're talking about today. And then you know, it's time to do anything. And I told the matter to police.
Hello?
And this thing take me almost 1 week. I remain in darkness. I was like, what customer protection? What are they calling me on air to the people? I'm not doing any simple thing. Please, I tell that woman, she should not come on with air like to tell people what they are not doing. So, if you want to do a work, you must do it. People will be seeing it, then they will press you. Not to come on radio, television, or whatever, and need to say in this way that you are protecting customers. I mean, for me, I have paid socialists, they have not seen any result complaint, and their number is 080 2020. It's a line, where the woman tell me.
Okay, so I've confirmed that the number is correct, and she actually gave me that number. But let's also remember that when you say they are not doing anything, the question you want to ask yourself is, okay, let me allow you answer first before I put in my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonah. I just want to apologize. You know, when a consumer is so aggrieved, you can see his pains. He's talking out of the pains he has gone through. The CPC, I just want to correct him that the CPC actually protects consumers. In the very scenario he created, he called the CPC, and most times if you call with this kind of a problem, we would still expect you, we would tell you, inform you, please forward a written complaint giving us the details in this particular instance. That's the only way we can intervene in your matter. This one is not, it's not an alert, it's a consumer complaint. So he needed to have, I'm sure we would have told him, please visit the council, even if you can't write, come, we will put it down for you. Or you can, if you can't come, you have our social media addresses. You can use any of those, but we need to see a documented evidence of your complaints. So I just want to assure him that CPC, the power issue in Nigeria is highly complex, to be truthful, and there are so many cases. I'll prove to you that in council right now that we have resolved about AEDC or any other distribution company in Nigeria. So I really don't know, maybe after this program he will give me his details and I will attend to his issue. But I want to assure him that even as he's saying this, there are 2001, but so many other people that said you intervened in my situation.
And we're quite aware of some of those interventions, especially when Mrs. Dugba Toki was the DG as well. We remember how questions were raised and put across to the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, questioning some of the charges, the extra charges that were Nigerians had to pay and all of that. So if let's not conclude and say this is not happening. It may not be good when you had to lay a complaint, but sometimes again there are people who were successful with their complaints as well. Go ahead and call us up on 081 89 99 1011. Now let's talk about redress, because we mentioned safety, information and choice. But before then, let's take this call very quickly. Hello? Kindly put off your radio sets, otherwise we'll get feedback and that will definitely affect your call. Sometimes it will just simply cut if you don't put off your radio sets. Let's talk about redress. What exactly is redress in this sense or context?
I guess Mr. Jonah has already opened the way for us to talk about redress.
Redress, yeah.
Yeah, because redress is basically providing justice for something that has gone wrong. So in this context, when a consumer's right is infringed, he probably paid money for a product or a service and he didn't get value for it. He got injured by it, or he has a complaint, a genuine one. Or the CPC procedures require that he inform the council in writing. Just write to the council stating what happened, giving us your details, the details of the respondent, as we call him, whom you are complaining against, his address and everything, and then tell us step by step what happened. And then if there are other documents you need to attach, probably receipt. Even if you don't have a receipt, you can still complain. Let's get to that point where it's absolutely necessary that. But then it's advised that every documentary evidence you attach and then send it to the council via email, via personal delivery, or post anyhow. And then when we get such information, of course, we do our initial assessment. We acknowledge you. We tell you we've received your complaint and we're working on it. And then we do our assessment. Sometimes these complaints may not have merit. And if they do, we go ahead and do our own independent investigation. Notify the respondent that so and so complaint has been made against you. We want you to investigate and, if possible, resolve and get back to us. And some manufacturer service providers are responsible enough. When they get this notification, they attend to the matter. They contact the complainant and get it resolved, and then report back to us. And then, of course, we also expect the complainant to report back to us. But first of all, what I missed out is a consumer is expected to first lay his complaint with the service provider or manufacturer before. If it's not resolved, if it's not attended to at that level, or if there is a breakdown in communication, he can now come to the CPC.
Okay, so it's not that you just see something, you've not contacted the person, because sometimes it's possible that the manufacturer is not even aware, right?
Exactly.
And then you just run to the CPC.
Exactly. And practically, so you can't say every business is foolproof. Could have been a mistake here that the manufacturer is willing to rectify. Our mandate basically says that we should first seek to provide redress in an amicable way. It's when a party or that party is proven difficult that we now employ our other powers. But our initial approach is amicable resolution.
All right, so we will resolve for now. Let's take a very quick break, and when we come back, Prosumer Forum continues. Stay with us.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
My name is Imam Fuad Adeyemi, the National Chief Imam of Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, the Director Al-Habibiyya Academy. I listen to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and I want you to listen to it. You will laugh.
Your right, my right, our rights. Everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101. Redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back from the break. This is PROSUMER Forum, your very, very interactive program. This is a program where we will be discussing, and we've been discussing actually, issues pertaining to producers or manufacturers, consumers, and the regulator. And in case you're hearing some noises on the background, please, you must be aware of the fact that you're safe. It's not anything, it's just routine maintenance around the studio area. And I will simply go to the phone lines before we come back to our guest on the program. Hello?
I'm back again. This is Jonah.
Okay, Jonah.
Okay. Sorry, even right now as I'm talking to you, there is another one. The same letter are in my area now. So for the solution getting to me now, they give my mother due for this month of October. That is not a problem. Thirdly, October, here we are in the month of October. So now is so aware that if there is no place to go tomorrow, they will come and promote the light. So, please, let the consumer tell me, the consumer tell me, let them tell me. So, if it happens that I did not pay to go tomorrow, and I will not pay end of this October, it's never have right to come and collect my right. when they give you today.
Okay, Mrs. Omagu Wachiku, the Chief Surveillance and Enforcement Officer of CPC, has said she has some questions. Wait. She has some questions for you. First of all, she wanted to know if you had contacted the authorities, that's the AEDs, in the first place.
Thank you. The previous one has passed. I just expressed my feeling. So this previous one now, you can call or go to Nanya area and verify this is what happened to them, some of them yesterday. So some deputed yesterday, when they fail to pay before this evening, they come and collect their life. So they can set a panel to put their coupon.
Okay, so this is a second complaint, isn't it?
Yes, this one now, I'm telling you, it's live. It's happening now.
And where is it happening exactly? What's the address?
Area D. That area D, only that Catholic church around that area.
Okay.
Yes.
That's where you are too, right?
Yes, that's where I am. And they give my last bill. Just now he called me. They say if they do not pay today, tomorrow they'll come and collect life. And which is the month of October, which I'm supposed to pay on of the 4th this month.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the caller?
Yes, my question now is this. If I did not have money or I did not pay before December, and it now happened that I paid end of December. So it meant I have right to disconnect my life now that they give me bill of October before end of this month.
Okay. So, Mrs. Omagu will ask you. Do you need to ask him a question, or you want to just give him the right information to follow?
I would appreciate if he can do a mail to council, but then of course it's not right for NEPA to give him a bill today and disconnect him tomorrow.
Okay.
But I would appreciate if he does a quick mail to the council right now, or even call the hotline.
Okay. The same hotline that he complained about?
Yeah, call them again. They will tell him the most speedy way of... he should do a mail so that somebody will be on it right away.
And the mail, obviously, is contact@cpc.gov.ng. Right? Then,
and then, of course, I can get his phone number. Can I get his phone number?
Yes, I'll get the phone number for you. And then the hotline, I'm sure he has that one. He said it already. But for others to also know, you can reach 0805 600 2020. That's 080 56 00 2020. And the second hotline is 080 56 003030. So there you have it. I'm going to get your number across to Mrs. Omagu, and I'm sure that your problem will be a thing of the past, hopefully. So let's take a look at the final aspect of our discussion. You talked about consumer education. What exactly does that imply?
Letting the consumer know about how to get the most out of his consumption. We educate them on their rights, the rights. We educate them on specifics of products. We have shopping tips, how to go about making purchases for you to get value. So it's really a broad spectrum of activities. We have programs that reach out to the young consumers in school. We reach out to the marketplaces. We reach out to so many sectors of people. So basically with the information on their rights and how to go about their purchases.
And that has worked over time. What manner of information do you pass? Is it print or broadcast media or what? Or you just
the medium?
Yeah, the medium. I beg your pardon.
We have flyers. I came with several flyers to educate you guys here on studio. And that's what we do.
Now on that flyer, you talked about that. On that same flyer, I see in red something written, when you insist on your warranty right and you're asked to go to hell, please don't go to CPC. What does that mean?
You know, many times there are manufacturers that are not consumer friendly. Warranty is just an assurance that the product has quality.
So does every product need to have a warranty?
A particular range of products,
Okay.
especially a particular group of, like electronics, for instance, should have warranty. So if you always insist, we educate consumers, insist on getting warranties. So if anything goes wrong, that's the tool with which you use to get redress. So going to hell means I will not attend to you. It's not my fault. I bought it. Am I the manufacturer and all that? That's what we mean by go to hell.
What of the experiences you've had with manufacturers? What are some of the common experiences and challenges that you've had with manufacturers?
Generally, we engage them from the point of consumer, from the point of the consumer end. When the consumer has an issue with a product, of course, the first point of call is where he purchased the product, and we allow him. We ensure that he gets redress at that level. Then, of course, the dealer, the onus is on the dealer to ensure that you deal in quality products. So if a consumer buys your product, a product on your sales outlets that is faulty, of course we'll get you to provide redress for him. Then the next level may be to engage the manufacturer. But then at that consumer level, the dealer has to provide redress for the complainant. Then if there are other bigger issues, we have been engaging several manufacturers in different aspects of their production, and there are results to show for it.
So if you have a complaint that you want to raise, you probably had bought something somewhere, or something happened somewhere, you are not satisfied with some services or products, you can call us up and lay your issues across to the CPC representative. CPC is the Consumer Protection Council, and we have Mrs. Omagu Onwachiku, the Chief Surveillance and Enforcement Officer. You want to share that, and some of the common problems that you want to also share are issues with telecommunications, issue with electronics, issues with food and beverages, and all of that. You can call 081 89 99 1011. Now let's very quickly, because we're running out of time, before we take one or two calls. What about those who sell food? This is one area that we also know people have complained much about. Either the environment. Is it proper to report that if you have, because you talked about safety, if you have, let's say you go to an eatery and then you probably see a dead rat just close by to the kitchen, and the back of the kitchen, which is quite common with many of the eateries that we have in Abuja, you see how dirty it is, very unkempt and all of that. What is the first action? Is it proper to go to the CPC or to talk to the owners of the eateries first?
Of course, while you are there, you would have to draw their attention to their environment, to your complaint. And then you can take it further by reporting to the CPC. We can do we'll do an independent survey of that particular environment and take the necessary actions. So you can always report.
But have you had cases of that before?
Yes, we're on one right now.
Obviously, you don't want to call the name.
Yes, not now.
But what exactly do you think is the challenge with the consumers generally? What attitude do we need to drop as consumers, and which one should we pick up?
As consumers, especially when it has to do with this general consumer apathy, that what are they going to do? What are they going to do? After all, it's just 2 naira that was charged on my line. So there's no point reporting. So I think that's the general issue with consumers. So that's one of them. And then secondly, when you come with your complaint, please bring the full details so we don't have to reach out to you. Make your contacts clear. If you are online, let's have your email so we can quickly reach you, your phone number, your contacts, everything. Just ensure that your documented complaint is intact so that we don't have issues getting back to you.
These things have procedures, don't they? So if you want to contact the Consumer Protection Council in case of an emergency or some sort of complaint in the areas of whether you don't feel safe with some of the products and services that you have had to pay for, or you lack much information, or you lack the choice to select what you want because somebody wants you not to take that, or some sort of redress or consumer education, these 5 key areas, you can call their contact. It's 080, right? 56002020. And the second line is the same except for the fact that the last 2 numbers are 30 and 30, last 4 numbers. All right, so I think we'll have to close the curtain, unfortunately, because Vano with the ordinary telephone, Vano with the ordinary president is coming up next on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Mrs. Omagu Wachiku would like to thank you for coming on the program and sharing the necessary information that the CPC, the Consumer Protection Council, has for members of the public. This program will always welcome you whenever.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I would like to say thank you to Shola, my able producer in the studio, just right across me over there. We will continue with PROSUMER Forum tomorrow, the last for the week, before we resume on Monday again. Do have a lovely time, and I wish you Godspeed. Bye-bye.